Hey everybody, our homework practice problems for Thursday, January 23rd. So we're going to backtrack a little bit to yesterday's lesson for the first two sections. So again, I'm not going to do the problems you had to do necessarily, but I will do one of the similar problems to help you. This 3x plus 28, we did this in class today. All right, so we did these two, I did this one too. All right, so they're the same thing we did in class. You're going to distribute the 3 to both pieces, both addends inside of the parentheses. So it will become 3 times x plus 3 times 8, which would then simplify to 3x plus 24. So that's all you're doing for this one. You're going to distribute that 5 to both pieces inside the parentheses, okay? You're not going to find a value for x. Some of you are kind of hung up on what's the value for x? I can't do this if I don't know what the value for x is. It's not important right now. It'll be important next year and the year after that. And the year after that, and the year after that. Okay, next one, you have to use the distributive property. So remember, so we did this one in class today, 15 times 2/3. It's taking the 15 and then you're multiplying it by that mixed number being broken up into 2 addends. So you're taking 2 and 2/3 and breaking it up into 2 plus 2/3. And then you're going to distribute the 15 to both sides of both pieces. So now you have 15 times 2 plus 15 times 2/3. And remember, 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 2/3 would be 15 over 1 times 2/3. You could straight up, go across and do 30/3, which is 30 divided by 3, which would be 10. Or you could say, I'm going to cross cancel, divide both by 3, and I get 5 over 1 times 2 over 1, which is 10 over 1, which is also 10. Either way, you're going to get 30 plus the value of 15 times 2/3, which is 10. Final value here, final simplification, would be 40. Okay? The next section, you've got to use the greatest common factor to come up with to factorize the algebraic expression. So, 24 and 6. Greatest common factor, there has to be 6, because 6 is the biggest factor for 6, also is a factor of 24. So you take the 6 out, that's your greatest common factor, and then you need to have inside the parentheses the 2 numbers you would multiply 6 by to come up with your original numbers. So to get 24, you'd have to multiply 6 by 4. To get 6x, you're actually getting the original term in this case. You would have to multiply that by, you could call it 1x, or we could just call it x. All right, so 6 times 4 is 24, 6 times x is 6x, okay? Remember, x by itself is really 1x, but the 1 is understood, we don't usually write it. All right, number 14, you've got to pick which expression has the same value of 9 plus 24. So notice how expression is singular, meaning uno, one answer. And then number 16, I told you I'd help you with that, the multi-step word problem. Okay, Jeffrey is making 4 batches of chocolate chip cookies. Each batch of cookies needs 2 3/4 cups of chocolate chips. So just for a second, if he has 96 ounces of chocolate chips, how many ounces will be left over? Let's for a second get rid of this, just for a minute. Okay? He's making 4 batches of chocolate chip cookies. It says he needs 2 3/4 cups of chocolate chips for each batch. So really you want to think of how many chocolate chips will it take in all right? So think of what that would be. How would I figure that out if I needed to make 4 batches and each batch needs that many cups? Hopefully we could figure out that would be 4 times 2 3/4. So you're going to use that breakup method, that decomposing method, where you take the 2 3/4 and break it into 2 smaller pieces, and then use the 4 to multiply, okay? And then once you get your answer for that, you've got 96 ounces of chocolate chips, okay? And actually, I don't like the fact that they use cups and ounces. You're going to also have to figure out how many ounces are in a cup, okay? So how many ounces are in a cup? All right, so that's something you could do with a Google search. How many ounces are in 1 cup? All right. And then you're going to want to convert whatever you get here for this answer into ounces. So take that, convert it to ounces. and then you're going to subtract that from the 96, okay? So that's the big one. That's the hardest one, is taking this answer here and finding out how many cups, how many ounces it would be for that. All right? It's a challenging problem. See how you do. All right? All right, I'll see you later.